After many years of waiting for college football to come out, it is now returning on July 19, 2024, and if you bought the deluxe edition, you can play early on July 16th. So in today's video, I will be telling you guys what the 5 best teams you should use in Dynasty. Before we get to the video, if we can get 25 likes on this video, I will be bringing out more college football news, and I'll be dropping another video this week. This UConn team has had a lot of history in the past, but in the last 13 years, they have had no seasons over 500. They have been to 2 bowl games, though, but lost both to Marshall. They have 26 conference championships, so that's the history they've had in the past. They've had no conference championships in the last 15 years. They've had 9 bowl games of all time. They're 4-5. During 2007 to 2010, they had 8+ win seasons. So that's kind of the last success they've had. No success after the 80s. So this UConn team can be very fun to build. I probably will just do a little dynasty offline for this. I'm going to be testing all these teams out just to see how I can get them and how far I can get them. That's number 5 on the list. At number 4, we have a little bit of a weird one. We have Akron. They've only had 38 seasons in college football. They have 157 and 277 record of all time. Only 1 conference championships. They've had 3 bowl games, and they're 1-2 in those games. They've never been ranked, so this team has really had no success of all time. Only 9 winning seasons of all time. And in the last 5 seasons, they've went 7-47. And in their all-time history, they've had 9 different coaches. So Akron, like I said, is a little bit different. No history at all. Never been ranked. Only 1 conference championship. Not a good record. But they're also one of the newer teams in the league. So can you build this team up to the number 1 team in the world? It can happen. If you get the good recruits, and you can probably be ranked by season 3. But, the first couple seasons can be rough, because you don't have a lot of good guys, you have no history, and Akron is definitely a fun one to pick, just because they've really never been good, and you can build them up to greatness. That is the 4th team on our list. UMass is a little bit interesting. They've only been a Division I school for 12 years, as they joined in 2012. They're in the MAC conference, a little bit easier conference, but they're definitely one of the worst teams. The Minutemen are 24-112 in the FBS level, and they've never been to a bowl game. Their best season in the FBS has been 4-8. They've been sticking with their coaches. I don't know how they have not been fired, but 4-8 has been their best record, which was just last season. So maybe they can get back on their heels in real life, but this UMass team is not good at all. But even from the later games in 2013, 2012, this was one of the teams to play with because they just got in. They're one of the newer teams. You could see how you could rebuild them. UMass is definitely an interesting one. Of course, only been in the FBS for 12 years, so not a lot of experience. One of the worst teams in FBS history. So this is definitely going to be a fun team to rebuild. I definitely suggest you to pick this one so you can get them up to greatness and maybe let them have a winning record, which they have never had. Coming at 4 on the list, we have Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is very interesting. They have not had a winning record since 2013. So in the last 11 years, it's been a struggle. I think we all know that. They're in a packed SEC, which is also a fun conference because you have many opportunities to upset teams like Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. Go against teams like Tennessee and Florida. You go against Carson Beck, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart. You go against all these guys, and even the new quarterback for Tennessee. This is definitely a fun conference to be in. But they've had 30+ 2 or less win seasons. That is atrocious. They have an okay roster, so they can upset teams once in a while. But the SEC is definitely a fun team to be in, just because you have all these teams you're going against that have made national championships, have been top 10 teams for a long time. And even going against Alabama and Georgia, you could probably upset one of those teams in the near future, as they're going to have a lot of players go in the NFL. And if you could build your team with recruits, like Vanderbilt, they also are rebuilding a stadium. Vanderbilt is definitely going to be a great team to rebuild. I think you could easily do it. They don't have a horrible roster. It's just they don't have a great history. They don't have the greatest coaches. But I suggest you pick Vanderbilt. But there's a reason they're 2 on our list. Because number 1 might shock you, but it's definitely a team you can rebuild easily. At number 1, we have the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Now, the thing with Nebraska, they are one of the greatest franchises of all time. 5 national championships. They have an 883 to 399 record all time. That's unreal. They have one of the biggest stadiums in college football, so you can have a great atmosphere to play in. Haven't had a winning record since 2016, though, so definitely have not been great the last 8 years, which means they haven't made a bowl game. They're very close this year. They went 5-7, started the season 5-3, lost 4 straight games. Fun fact, they had 41 straight winning seasons. That's unreal. Dylan Raiola, the new freshman quarterback, coming in, and you're going to have a nice 4 years unless he plays really well for you. Have a nice 4 years with this guy. You probably have a good overall coming into the game. I'll be dropping a video predicting some overalls. If this video gets 25 likes, that's dropping on Thursday. But they have one of the best defenses, but many seniors on that defense. So you're going to have to work in the recruiting market, transfer portal. But Nebraska, a lot of history, a lot of things to build on. One of the best teams in the 90s. And you can definitely do very well with this team. And if Dylan Raiola doesn't work out, you got 2 other QBs. You got Daniel Kalen and Heinrich Harburg on the bench. So this team, you can definitely do work with it. I think in 3 seasons, you could be a top 10 team easily. You just got to have the right pieces. You got to have good recruiting. A lot of people want to go to Nebraska because of their history. So that's why they're number 1 on my list. So let's get to the outro. Hopefully you liked that video. Make sure to like and subscribe to be part of the GOAT Game. I have 3 honorable mentions for you. Appalachian State, Indiana, and Ohio State. Ohio State, the reason I have them up there is, they're not, they might not have a great future ahead of them, but you can definitely get them to some national championships. They got Will Howard, Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson. They got a bunch of good guys. And App State, one of the greatest upsets of all time against Michigan. Indiana has never had a season over 10 wins. But those are some of my honorable mentions. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe to be a part of the GOAT Game. Get 25 likes so we can get that video up on Thursday. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.